Over in the pages of DC Comics, it's been incredibly compelling to watch Green Lantern John Stewart put his past as a superhero behind him and really embrace some of the elements over in his family life. Sadly, though, I don't think this piece is going to last very long over for John because the alternate reality threat of the Revenant Queen and Radiant Dead is currently lingering just beneath the surface. Plus, some of the other Green Lanterns of the alternate reality are also looking to team up with our version of John in order to fight back against these multiversal threats. My name is Arako Braddock, and today, let's go ahead and dive into the pages of Green Lantern War Journal Issue 2. But before we get deeper into the video, I want to encourage you to consider subscribing to the channel and hit that like button over on our video. Discover the shocking identity of the Revenant Queen as John Stewart travels to Metropolis to meet with Steelworks. The Radiant Dead have claimed this first victim on Earth and are ravenously hunting for John. Stripped of his ring and unaware of the danger he's in, John is caught completely unprepared to face this otherworldly horror and to unravel the shocking identity of the Revenant Queen. Green Lantern War Journal Issue 2 is written over by Phillip Kennedy Johnson, featuring art over from Montos. We have colors from Alex Guimaraes, letters from Dave Sharpe, and a cover coming in directly over from Taj Tenfold. Really appreciate the way that Tenfold strikes so much animosity over with his figures. And also, I'm really appreciating some of the purple hues featured in the background of the cover as well. I want to extend a quick thank you over to Adventures in Poor Taste and preview some of this excellent work coming in over from Montos in the issue here. I really like how Montos lends so much intrigue over to this Green Lantern series with a look over at the Amazon rainforest here. Found it incredibly compelling how the quarantine nature of Sector 2814 is kind of fueling the appearance of the Radiant Dead over in the comic. I really found that author Phillip Kennedy Johnson and artist Montos must have a solid working relationship here, because the way they sort of build up some of these Green Lanterns and introduce the threat of the Radiant Dead and Revenant Queen is incredibly compelling here. Also really love some of the really nuanced facial details and page layouts that Montos captures. Montos' line is so adept across the issue. Really loving some of the uses of negative space and all the really beautiful color work that Alex Guimaraes lends to some of the finishes in the art to really bring out the vision that both Johnson and Montos seemingly have over on the page here. This inclusion over in the Revenant Queen on this issue was absolutely harrowing here. Really appreciate the way that Montos was able to depict this facial expression with so much intrigue here. Also really love over on the final page as we get to see both Guimaraes and Montos working together to shake up the color palette of the comic book. The way that this page introduces orange panel borders and some blue and purple details in the first panel is so beautiful and really introduces this horrific horror threat to the issue with some really stunning intrigue here. I also love how much the tone shifted over in this next sequence as John and his mother got to venture into Metropolis to meet up with John Henry Irons and the people of Steelworks. Really getting to see John bring some of the members of his family over to a job interview was so beautiful here. Really appreciated the way that Johnson was able to craft the camaraderie between John Henry Irons and John Stewart in this issue too. The characters have such a beautiful relationship, and I love the fact that Stewart really references his archaeology and his background over in the comic book. Really learning that Stewart has the capacity and mind of an engineer in certain aspects lends this really interesting nature to the narrative that shows that Green Lantern War Journal is more than just some of these cosmic horror threats, but a book really focused inwards over on its main character. I also love the way that John continues to tend to some of the emotions over in his mother in the series. Really feels like this pair has a strong relationship here, and the way that Johnson just really closely follows this plot thread just gives an interesting nature over to Green Lantern War Journal. Also, with the Radiant Dead and Revenant Queen having been teased in so many Green Lantern backups and other comic book tie-ins here, I found it incredibly compelling to finally see John go up against the Radiant Dead towards the end of the comic book issue here. Really love the use of negative space, as well as all the beautiful colors coming in from Alex Guimaraes, as well as that really firm line over from Montos. Montos really captures some beautiful and dynamic page layouts too. There's a scene really late in the issue that we don't have a preview page for, where John and his mother are sort of reacting to the Radiant Dead crashing into Metropolis. And I just think the way that this panel is captured evokes such a strong sense of emotion over from the reader here. So at the end of the day here, I really think the Green Lantern War Journal is a tremendous comic book that really manages to flesh out some of the nuanced characterization over with John Stewart with a lot of heart and purpose. The way that this book has been building up all of the threats of the Radiant Dead and Revenant Queen have been so enthralling to capture. I also love how the quarantine nature of Sector 2814 and Radiant Dead was the backdrop to go ahead and kick off the issue. Really think the Green Lantern War Journal is paced really carefully over from Johnson, Montos, and Guimaraes' really gorgeous colors across this comic book. Thankfully, there's actually a ton of fight scenes over in Green Lantern War Journal, and I really think that this creative team does just a fantastic job switching gears when the issue calls for it. Also, really seeing John finally go up against these characters that have been teased so long across these Green Lantern books is incredibly cathartic. I want to know from you, do you enjoy Green Lantern War Journal as much as I did? What were some of your thoughts over on the second issue? And are you as interested to see John go up against the Revenant Queen as I am? Let me know down in the comments below. Thank you so much for coming to check out our video review over on Green Lantern War Journal, and we'll be back to see where the Green Lantern franchise is headed next over at DC Comics. Thanks so much, and I'll see you soon.